Hi, this is Eric. We're going to talk about the diatonic triads in the key of C major. Here's a treble clef. This is for pianists, but anybody else? I'll pretend you're a pianist. So there's treble clef and a bass clef, grand staff. You already know the C major scale, which consists of C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. The reason I'm not putting another C is because for our harmonic purposes right now, another C would be redundant. You already have a C. So this is scale degree 1 through 7. And if we turn these into triads, all that means is you stack a third above the given note. So in other words, these are all going to be the root of a given chord. To turn them into that chord, you stack a third above that root, which is called the third, and another third above that third, which is called the fifth. 3 notes stacked up. Triad. The easy way to do it is to add 2 to whatever number you need to add 2 to. 1 plus 2 is 3, so in other words, scale degree 1 is going to get scale degree 3 added on top of it, just like this. So that's 3. And then 2 higher than 3 is 5. So now you have 1, 3, and 5. In this case, since we're talking about C major, it's C, E, G. Another thing we can label is chord number 1. We use Roman numerals for that because we can capitalize or lowercase Roman numerals. That one's capital because it's major. Let's go faster now. 2 higher than 2 is 4. 2 higher than 4 is 6. Chord number 2 is 2, 4, 6. It's minor. That's why little 2. 3 is also minor. 3, 5, 7. Four is major. Notice that we have 4, 6, and 1. That's C that I would have put over there. For our purposes now, we can call it 1. So it's 4, 6, 1. It's not 4, 6, 8. 8 is the equivalent of 1. I'm going to keep everything between 1 and 7 right now. So that's chord number 4, which is major. Chord number 5 consists of 5, 7, and 2. 6 is minor. 6, 1, 3. And 7 is diminished. Use that little degrees sign looking symbol to mean diminished. Notice that it's almost like a minor. A diminished chord is kind of like a minor minor. It's even smaller than a minor chord. See the module on types of triads for an explanation for that. Anyway, the scale degrees in chord number 7 consist of 7, 2, and 4. Notice that it gets a little bit more confusing once you get higher than 7 on the top. You just have to keep in mind that that must be a 1 after 7, 2, 3, 4. So another way of looking at this is to observe the top numbers and their notes. If you started with scale degree 5 and we're just walking up and we have 7 of them to do, you're going to end up with 4 by the end of it. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the top voice. The the middle voice is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. And the lowest voice is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Another way of describing this is that the bottom note of each of these chords is the root, the middle note is the third, and the top note is the fifth. Here comes the same thing for the left hand. It's all redundant at this point for a while. Chord number 1 consists of C, E, G, also known as 1, 3, 5. 2 means 2, 4, 6. 3 means 3, 5, 7. Running out of room. 4 means 4, 6, 1. We're going to make this more practical and go downwards now. 5 means 5, 7, 2. Notice that that's a G. This is F, 1 higher. We're doing G right there. We're just going down 1 octave to make some room. So that's 5, 7, 2. Next up is 6. 6, 1, 3. And then finally, there's a 7, which is 7, 2, 4. Okay, so you can see both hands have the same kinds of notes. These are the diatonic triads belonging to C major. I have one shape for each chord, and there are 7 chords, so far we only have 7 chord shapes. For the key of C, it's really easy if you can play 5, 3, 1 in the left hand or 1, 3, 5 in the right hand. Find C and walk up one white key at a time. You got all those chords, but you should not be tempted into drilling through it with no thought. You should compare things. You should have a listen to chord number 1, chord number 4, and chord number 5, for example, and say, oh yeah, these all sound happy. They're all major chords. C, F, and G, 1, 4, 5, are all my major chords. They're my primary chords in the key of C. That also means they're really likely. That's another nice fact. So start with that. Listen to the sound of it. Maybe have somebody come up and play a chord for you. You can tell them, hey, it's got to be any of the white key chords. And then your job would be to identify, is it major or minor, or possibly diminished. There's one of those, the B one. Okay, then go through 2, 3, and 6. Those are all minor, right? Listen to those and say, that sounds minor when I play it. So on and so forth. Observe it with your ears and look at the notes and say it a lot of different ways. This is chord number 1, 3, 5, or chord number 1. It consists of scale degrees 1, 3, 5. Here's chord number 2. It's a D minor chord, which means it uses the notes D, F, A, which are respectively scale degrees 2, 4, and 6. Go over that information until you can just spit it out. At the beginning, you have to think it through. You can refer back to this, but it's better that you build a network in your mind about the way this works. And one of the things that helps that is to just practice it and describe it logically. Okay, these have all been root position for now. But there's more. So I'll see you in the next module to talk about inversions of diatonic triads in the key of C major. Thanks for watching.